Chris Godinez, licensed professional counselor, the host of We Need to Talk on every Sunday at noon, and then I post it up to Facebook and Patreon and all that sort of good stuff. This video is for educational and informational purposes only. The views and opinions stated herein are mine alone. They do not represent the ACA, the APA, or any other therapist for that matter. Boom, shakalaka done. Okay, this video is answering questions. So if you have questions that I didn't get to in Sunday, this is when I answer them. So I want to thank my sponsor, BetterHelp, BetterHelp, BetterHelp.com/Chris Godinez. They're an online therapy company. They are international. If you are anywhere in the world and you want to get to a good therapist, go to BetterHelp.com/Chris Godinez, fill out some questions, and they will set you up with a licensed professional therapist, master's level or PhD level, and they're awesome. And they do chatting, which is great. They do videos. That's great. So thank you, BetterHelp.com/Chris Godinez. Let me move my head there. Whoop, there it is. BetterHelp. There we go. So I've gotten a lot of good feedback. So thank you, BetterHelp.com/Chris Godinez. Okay, let's dive into the questions, shall we? Okay. My dad beat me. He also beat Mom. Mom said I deserved it. No, you didn't. No, you did not. She did not protect you. She was just as abusive as he was. So parents who do not protect their children, basically it's abuse because they're not doing anything. They're not stopping the abuser from harming, hurting, beating, whatever. So no, you did not deserve that. My dad did suicide. I spoke up about my abuse. My sibling says that she wishes that they were still alive so that they could stand up for themselves. WTF. So, people, you can only meet people for where they are at. Admitting that your parents were abusive takes a lot of courage, and it takes a lot of strength, and it takes a lot of self-esteem. And not everybody has got that. So, when I was going through my therapy and working on myself, one of my siblings said, when I said that Dad had sexually assaulted me out by the pool, she said, no, he didn't. Like point blank denial, no, he didn't. And I was like, oh, game on, biatch. Yes, he did. So I had to be like, stop right there with your freaking delusion. You can think whatever you want to of him. My reality is he assaulted me, so go pound sand. She didn't like that very much. And, it's hard to convince siblings that are not there yet. So you're not going to convince them. They're in denial. They are in denial. They have not hit that point of going, yeah, Mom and Dad did not have our back. Yeah, Mom and Dad were not the greatest. Yeah, Mom and Dad were abusive. They're not there yet. And being able to go, yeah, Mom and Dad were abusive. They didn't have our back. They were harmful, hurtful, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That means you know yourself and you know your truth. Not everybody is there yet. So remember, the big thing in dysfunctional families is we don't talk about it. We don't talk about Bruno. We don't talk about it. We don't talk about the abuse. We deny. We minimize. We excuse. We blame the victim. That's what dysfunctional families do. So the sibling is obviously playing into that and buying whatever your mom was selling, which is, oh, it's your fault, you deserved it, blah, blah, blah. Healthy, normal adults do not beat anybody, okay, especially a child. That's inexcusable. Inexcusable. So the sibling's in denial, that's what's going on. It's abuse amnesia. They don't remember what happened to them, or they don't remember what happened to you, even though they were there. So it's because incoming information is not jibing with the BS that they've been taught by their abuser or by the parent who didn't protect. So that's what's going on. And basically, you just let them go. It's like there's not going to ever be a healthy relationship with that person. You can have a relationship with them at arm's length, not any closer, because they're in denial. They've got magic thinking. They're not working on themselves. Do you see where I'm going with that? So there is that. So, and yeah, I have had other family members be like, well, they're both dead and how dare you and da 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 da. And I'm like, funny. I also have other family members going, yeah, you're 100% right. Yeah, I was there when that happened. Yeah, that happened to me too. Yeah. Do you see where I'm going? So it depends on where people are. And you can't change the mind of somebody who is in denial, minimizing, not working on themselves, siding with the abuser. Remember, that is a Freudian ego defense, siding with the aggressor. So, even in death, sometimes kids will side with the aggressor as opposed to the sane person. So there that is. That's what's happening. You can't get them to believe your truth. So don't try. Just they are going to believe whatever they're going to believe, and you let the rest of it go. Okay. I went no contact with my parents. My parents passed due to COVID, so in the last 3 years. Now extended family is coming after me and won't stop. What do I do? You block them. You block them. It's none your business. None your damn business why I went no contact with my family. Seriously, it's none of their business. So basically what I do is I give people the chance to behave correctly, and when they don't, I cut them off. Absolutely. So what you can say is, it's none of your business why we went no contact. They are dead. So it's a non-issue as of now. And if you bring it up again, I too will go no contact with you. So there that is. So you basically give them a warning, and then you tell them, hey, this is the way it's going to go. So there that is. Okay. Where was I? So yeah, you give them a warning. You let them know. It's like, hey, I have my reasons, and it's none of your business. Because it's not. It's none of their business why you went no contact. And they are now dead, so it is a moot point. If you bring this up again, you too will be no contact. Seriously. Boundaries. And that takes self-esteem, and that takes certainty, and that takes not being codependent. You have to be willing to let those people go. So the books I would recommend, obviously, CPTSD from Surviving to Thriving, Pete Walker, The Disease to Please, Harriet Breaker, Self-Esteem Workbook by Glenn Schiraldi. You do not owe anybody an explanation. You don't. It's none of their business. Period. And a lot of times what they'll do is they'll try to do the guilt trip. Oh, well, but they're dead now, and you did that, and they're trying to make you feel bad. And that's when you cut them off. Seriously, that's when you're like, what is your point with this? What are you hoping to get out of this? What is this about? Because this is none of your business. So they'll either start a fight, or they'll be like, oh, how dare you? How dare you have boundaries? So remember, disordered families don't like boundaries. The only people who don't like boundaries are those who benefit from the lack of them. So disordered families need drama and chaos the way that the rest of us need oxygen. So of course the extended family is going to be coming at you because it's drama and chaos. So like I said, you fire a warning shot across the bow, you let them know it's none of their business, and if they bring it up again, you're going to go no contact with them. Period. I'm not playing. And you don't owe them an explanation. You don't. And if they try to do the whole you owe me an explanation, it's like, no, biatch, I don't. All I got to do is pay taxes and die. Go pound sand. Seriously. And you've got to be secure in that. So it's hard when it's family coming at you, because we think in our heads that family should be kind and supportive and, caring and loving. A lot of times they're not. If they are just as disordered as the parents were, you don't need them in your life. You don't. Here's the question to ask yourself. If you were not related to these people, would you have anything to do with them? And if the answer is no, then act accordingly. You can cut them off. You don't need to contact them. You don't even need to tell them that you're cutting them off. You just quietly block them. And that means social media, that means email, text, etc. You owe nobody an explanation. And that is the thing that abusers have trained us, is that we We have to explain ourselves. We have to explain ourselves. No, we don't. No, really don't. Really don't. So, there that is. Okay, on Sunday, you said that the abuser will never change. That makes me very, very sad. I want them to change. What do I do? Okay, so here's the deal. We love. We love. We love. We do. They don't. And that's the tough thing to get, because it's hard for loving, caring people to wrap our heads around the idea that this person that we loved does not love. They do not love, guys. Actions speak louder than words. Their every action has been abusive, neglectful, harmful, hurtful, etc. That ain't love. If it hurts, it ain't love. It's not. It's codependency, it's abuse, it's neglect, but it ain't love. So it's really important to get with a really good trauma therapist. We suffer from Stockholm Syndrome when we are with an abuser. We live for those highs when they say they love us. But then there's those lows when they prove that they hate us. So it's, I love you, I hate you, I love you, I hate you, I love you, I hate you. It's addictive. It is. It's the same concept that's used in POW camps, intermittent positive rewards, to get the prisoners to live for the day when the guards are kind to them. They did it in Vietnam. They did it in Stockholm with the bank robbery. It's Stockholm Syndrome, intermittent positive rewards. So we live for those moments when the abuser is kind. But those moments get shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter. And pretty soon we're living with the memory of them being kind. Well, but I just want them to go back. Well, but I just want... It's not reality. Reality is what they're doing. Their actions speak louder than words. You cannot love them into sanity. Let me say that again. You cannot love them into sanity. You can't. It is beyond your means. It is beyond my means. I'm a good counselor. I can't fix a narcissist. I can't fix a psychopath. It's not going to happen. Part of it is, it's just that old joke. It's like, how many psychiatrists does it take to change a light bulb? One, but the light bulb has to really want to change. It's the same thing. It's like they don't want to change. They don't think they're doing anything wrong. They really don't. And if you're dealing with somebody that has an absolute void of compassion or empathy or caring or love or feeling emotions, there's no there, guys. There is no there. There is no there. So you cannot fix them because you did not break them. Okay? And here's the deal. With a narcissist, they don't think there's anything wrong with them. They really don't. They really, truly, their ego will not allow them to go, let me see what I've done. Okay? With a psychopath, there's no empathy. There's no empathy with a narcissist either. But there's this callousness. There's this coldness. And they don't care to work on themselves because they don't care who they've hurt or how they're hurting people. And in fact, a lot of narcissists, a lot of psychopaths are sadists. They enjoy it. They enjoy inflicting the pain on the person who loves them because they hate them for loving them. How dare you feel something I don't feel? That's basically it. How dare you love when I can't feel it? And that makes them angry. And so they're going to punish the person who loves them. That's why that old saying, you only hurt the ones you love. Well, you don't really love them. You really don't love them if you're hurting them. So there that is. So you cannot fix them, hun. And telling them is not going to change it. I talked about that on Sunday as well. If you tell a narcissist that they're a narcissist or a psychopath that they're a psychopath, they're just going to start researching and start doing psychobabble. It's not going to affect them. It's not, because they don't want to change. What they want to do is control, manipulate, win. In some cases, kill. It depends on how far down the spectrum they are. If they're a dark triad, they're narcissistic, psychopathic, and a control freak, they're dangerous. And they will kill to be right. So yes, I understand that you want them to change. I understand that you want them to go back to what you fell in love with. But what you have to understand is what you fell in love with was an absolute illusion. That was not the real person. The real person is the one that's harming, hurting, abusing. Okay? They're not going to change. What they're going to do is as soon as you've outlived their usefulness for you, they'll dump you, they'll discard, and they'll go find another target. And it won't be any better for the other target. So something else that somebody else brought up was in talking the week before this, when I was talking about ageism and how they dump for younger and younger targets of abuse, sometimes karma happens and they get involved with either somebody else who's a minor narcissist or they get involved with somebody who is a malignant borderline. And in that case, they'll eat off of each other. They'll just devour each other. And it's like, oh, there's karma in action. Wow, I get to see it. Great. So sometimes that's the case too. But as far as them changing, growing, figuring it out, working on themselves, admitting that they're wrong, not in this lifetime, not on this planet. It ain't going to happen. And it's not your job to fix them. You have not failed them. They have failed themselves. So, there it is. All right, kids. I said I was going to tell you what we were talking about on next week. Hold on. Let me get to my mail so I can find the show list. That would be good. March. Hello. Let's go to March shows. March shows. There we go. Okay. So, the next show is going to be Office Shenanigans. Ha! Yes. Dealing with the political, oh my God, weirdness of corporations and coworkers and backstabbing and narcissists and drama and chaos, etc., etc., etc. So we're going to talk about office shenanigans and how to protect yourself from that and when it might be time to look for another job. So we're going to talk all about all of the types of people that show up in office situations. So office shenanigans. All right, my loves, that is all the time I have today. So you guys be good to yourselves, take care of yourselves, and I will talk to you on Sunday. Bye.